Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and today I'm going to show you an easy way to do, some people call it a static cane, some people call it an ICAT cane, but I'm going to show you a fairly easy way to get one done. I've got three colors here that I have extruded using the square die in my Makin's extruder. And I've got I've got Fimo Silver Glitter, I've got Primo Black, and I've got white mixed with the silver glitter. So I've got silver, black, and white. And this is about 15 inches wide. Let me trim it to 15 inches, which is at the end of my worksheet here. And what this is what's the scraps from all three colors. And I'm going to be, I've just kind of blended them together and twisted, and I'm going to put that down. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that later. But I'm going to take my ruler and line it up against here. Now since it's 15 inches, I can cut 5 3-inch pieces from each color, and I'm just going to cut them at the same time. I'm going to go at 3, 6, 9, and 12. Now I'm going to take the white. This didn't cut all the way through. I keep forgetting that when I use my ruler. I'm going to line up my white, but it's going to line up at an angle. What you want to do is do it this way. And the easiest way to do that is to take a black and a white. Let me cut these all the way through. And put them together. Didn't cut that very neatly, did I? But anyway, I'm going to put these together. And try to get them as even as you can. Have a dog hair. And let's see, I had this all put them together like you slip over one. See that? You slip over one and put the white on top, the black on top of the white, and then try to keep it even all the way through, and then do it again with the black over the white. Now I like to put one end on there and then follow the other one down. The next one, the black on the white. It's easier to do this in your hand than it is on your work surface because it's not flat yet. And let's do this one, the black on the white. And see how it went together, and you've got the black and the white on angles. Now you can sit it down, and let me cut my silver. This is going to be a glittery one. You can do this with any colors, but I had these glitters out. And what you're going to do, and I'll lift it up so you can see, is put this angle down inside there. So now you're going to have 3 together. Same thing over here. Put the angle down into that angle. And just keep following it along this way. And I'm going to go ahead and put this, see, I didn't follow it all the way through, and the angles didn't go in the way I'd hoped they would. That's why it's very important to work on both sides of your design. But just make sure that your angles go in there. And I'm going to put this silver here on the edge of this black. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this together this way. See what I'm doing here? I'm squeezing it in that way. And turn it over, because the one on the bottom doesn't get squished as much as the one on the top. You can lay it down after you've started squishing it and press it with your hand. Please excuse my brace, but I've got another wrist. It's not the one I had before. This is my left wrist, but it's really bothering me, and I have to wear a brace. And what I'm going to do is cut this in half. Let me measure it. Well, I'm not going to cut the ends off yet because I'm going to use that. So I will measure from the good part, which is 3.5 inches. So that will be 1 3/4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that together like that, and I'm going to squish it together again. And you keep doing this until you get the shape you want. Let me do that again. I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep repeating. I'm going to three and a half, so that's 1 inch and 3/4. And you can see how it's becoming that static cane. See all the little black, how it's going up into the silver and down into the white. I like having black in the middle, just because it really pops, it makes the other colors pop. So I think I'm going to do this one more time. Is it still 3 inches? Well, now it is just 3 inches. It's not 3.5. So let me just do it one more time. And I think that's going to do it. So I'm going to roll, excuse me for having a dirty roller. I'm going to roll the top and the bottom and the sides to make it into either a square or a rectangle, depending on what you have. But that's going to be what we're going to be working with. Now, I told you I would explain what I was doing with this. I decided I need something, I'm going to slice this and put it onto another backing. And I thought if I could get this marbled, it would make a real pretty background for this. And I'm going to roll this through the pasta machine at the thickest setting. And just looking at that, that doesn't look too bad. I really don't want to blend it too much, but let me try this way and running it through one more time. There, so that's going to be the back of it. Or if you prefer the silver sparkle back, you can do that. That's what I'm going to put on the back, is the silver sparkle. So I'm going to use this as my base. Now normally, I would put this either in the refrigerator or let it sit overnight, but I don't have the luxury of that. But I'm going to make these cuts about 1/8 of an inch thick, except the first one, that's straightening up the end. And I'm making them 1/8 of an inch thick because I'm going to put them through my pasta machine and stretch them out a little bit. So this is a little bit thicker. Let me come out a little and see if I can bring my pasta machine over here. If I have enough cord. So you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to roll this through this way because you want your lines to stay up and down. And I'm going to roll this through at the thickest setting. See how it lengthened it? This is the way it was, and that's what it went to. And I'm going to do each one. Putting the white side in first. Okay, so now I'm going to come down to the number 3, and I'm going to go through again. Try to straighten up this end. Again, I'm doing the white side first. I see how it's changing. And I actually think that's enough. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down, take this down to a number 3. Because you don't want your, oh, excuse me, I got to get this back in its space. You don't want your finished piece to be too thick. So this is going to be my base, and I'm going to lay these on here, trying to keep my lines straight, and I'm going to push this in just to make sure it's straight. And this one I'm going to lay right up next to it. And again, make a straight edge. There you go. And I have one more which should fit right along here. And I'll just have to trim off some of it. But I'm going to, well actually I'm going to roll it first. I'm going to roll this with my roller in each direction to try to seal up these little seams. And if you need a little extra help, just take a piece of patty paper and put over it and go over it with your fingers. Do it a little bit sideways so that you'll mash the clay together. You can look at it and see how it's working. Still could use a little burnishing. I tell you, I've got a burnishing tool. But you can use anything. You can use a big spoon. You can use a bone folder. If you have a bone folder, that would work. Anything that's smooth that you can rub over this and create a little bit of friction. Now what I'm going to do is roll this through the pasta machine again. I'm sorry, I got my cord all tangled up when I moved it. Because I burnished it, it stuck to my work surface. But I'm going to roll it through again this way on the thickest setting. And there's your veneer. I'm just going to trim this off here. And let me see if I can get the most of my design on here. And straighten up your edges. This one needs to be trimmed a little. Now you have a beautiful veneer that you can do just about anything with. I think the best thing to do would be for me to combine these again. I'll try to do it by hand, but it's hard when you've only got one hand to squeeze with. Actually, what I ought to do is just make a black backing, but I'm not. But I'm going to put it on a... Let me go down one more. I'm going to go down to a number 3 because I'm going to put this on another backing. I love that. And what I'll do is when I take a break in a minute, I'm going to roll out some black and put this on black. So let me do that. Let me go ahead. I'm going to roll out my black to use as a base. In the meantime, I'm going to look for just the right cutter to use for this. So I will be back shortly. Okay, I have rolled out some black on the number 6 setting of my pasta machine, and 0 is the thickest. So this is, I think the thinnest is 9. So this is on a pretty thin piece because I don't need it to be too thick because I have this other to go on top of it. And I'm just going to lay this on top, and I'm going to just make sure that it's on with no air bubbles. There might be air bubbles under between the black and my table, but that's going to not affect anything. I just don't want any air bubbles between my veneer and the black. So now I can cut this off. This isn't a flexible blade. This one is. And I'm just going to trim this off so I don't waste all my black. And this is where I'm going to just trim. There we go. So now I've got this pretty veneer. Now what am I going to do with it? And I've looked and looked and looked. I think this would be a good shape to use on it. And I think I'm going to use this big one. These are Anna Belchie templates. If you never have downloaded any of her templates, she has got some awesome templates for free. They're downloadable. And I think I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to use my craft knife because I want to make sure that I cut it well, because I don't want to mess up too much here. Now this is cardstock, and it's not a real heavy cardstock. I think it's 65 pounds. So it would tear pretty easily. So there's that. Actually, I'm going to leave that there for right now because I'm going to cut 2 of these for earrings. Maybe I'll put that silver streak in the middle. Actually, I didn't cut that very well. I'll have to remember when I cut the other one. It's the only thing about working away from, you know, it's not in my, this is not where I would normally be working. But in order to get the camera to work right, it has to be you know, away from my body. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to cut and do this at the same time. Alright, so now I have 2 that match. And what I could also do is cut... no, I don't think I'll do that. I was going to say I could cut several of these this size to make a bracelet, but I don't think I'm going to have enough, and I just don't know that that's a good shape for a bracelet. So now I'm going to pull this up. And I'm going to keep my veneer because I might use it for something else. This is the one that didn't cut straight. But you know, I probably could use it. And what I would probably do is put this on something round. I've got this bowl, but it needs to be cleaned off, or else it would leave a mark on the back. Let me find. I've rearranged everything in my craft room again, and I don't know where anything is. Just go spray it with some alcohol. And I'm going to take this and lay it like this, so that'll give it a gentle curve. See the curve on that? And then I'll also put the earrings on there. I got these bowls from Donna Cato at prairiecraft.com. I don't know if she still got them, but I really like them because you don't get a shiny finish. You get this, it's sort of a brushed finish on the back. And I'm wondering if that's too curvy. I think I might put it on this bigger bowl. This comes in a set of like 4 sizes, 5 sizes. I like this curve better. It's not quite as drastic. See, it's a little bit flatter curve. But like I was saying on the other one, I like these bowls because you can get such a nice finish on them. So here's the others. It's a little tiny one, and then a medium size. Well, that's not really a medium size one. This is a small one too. Then the one I started with, and then this is the big one. And I think that's all of them. That's all that I see there anyway. So it's a set of 4. But I'm going to go ahead and bake these, and then I'm going to decide how I'm going to do the rest. But I just really like the look of that, don't you? Makes a really interesting design. It's sort of a iCat or a static, whatever you want to call it, cane. And it was real simple because, and I've still got all this left. I can make all kinds of stuff with it. So I hope you enjoy this. And, you know, try one and just decide what you want to do with it. And let me see what you did. So I'll be back again soon with another polymer clay tutorial. Thanks. Bye-bye.